Made some foul food.
Some foul food.
Oh, it's gross. Yes.
Well, here we go. It's going now.
Very nice, very nice. I like
What
it.
episode is this? Is this 8? I don't know. I don't expect you to know, but
I don't know. I think it's episode 12. Just guessing.
Just guessing. I think it's 8 though, for real.
Okay.
I think this is podcast 8. With Dylan Wallace
Bonjour.
returning once again from the abyss.
The abyss, the realm.
The realm. How's the realm doing?
The realm's good. It's still deep, still dark. It's still most certainly a crevasse.
Yeah.
That is, you know, she goes down quite a ways. But
Horrifying. Not for the faint of heart.
it's not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
But that's the realm.
That's
That's the rub on the realm, dude.
that's the rub on the realm. Sweet.
You need a pair of socks?
Let me look at these
Nice
socks
wool
here.
socks.
Nice wool ones?
See, they're like this.
Oh, wow.
Real warm. Great for shoveling snow.
I feel like it's never a good idea to turn down socks.
You're
when
right.
Offered.
Yeah.
You gotta just take them.
Mm-hmm.
One time when I was hitchhiking with these Montreal punkers,
Yeah.
also interesting crowd if you're keen on interesting crowds.
Yeah, no, I like a
the
good...
French Canadian punks.
Yeah.
They're an interesting kind of people.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we just had, it's a lot like just full blown sharing vibe. Nothing really belongs to anyone. Everything is for everybody to use and have. And so we were just kind of trading and sharing things the whole time. And they also gave me some socks, and I think about those socks a lot. So those guys gave me some nice dry socks that were clean. And I was currently out of nice clean dry socks. And when you're on the road backpacking and hitchhiking, and someone throws this fresh pair of feet warmers on the end of there, and changes your whole world.
Change your whole world.
Yeah, morale boosts incredibly.
Yeah, man, those little things that they take for granted in the natural run of a day.
Yeah.
It's like I think nothing about putting a pair of clean socks on my feet until my socks are fucking soaked. And then it's like, oh, hell yeah.
Hell yeah. I remember when we went to, for people who don't know, Dylan and I were in a band for like 3 years called Forward Unto Dawn. We were lucky enough to go down to Cleveland, Ohio to record an album. Mm-hmm. We spent about 9 days down there doing that, and it was awesome. But our drummer Nick bought a whole pack of like 30-some new socks once he got there. So every day he just put on a brand new pair of socks never worn. Yeah. And I feel like that was part of his success.
Part of his success? Yeah. And that magic is captured.
It is. It's
on the record.
Yeah, you want to hear what some fresh, clean socks sound like.
We always, every day we had fresh socks on our feet, so we couldn't complain.
No, could not complain. That was a wild trip. I went out for a while. I was working in Antigonish last winter, roofing, and we would spend 2 to 3 days there at a time and come back and spend a night in the city. But we'd like get back at 8 or 9 at night and then wake up at 4:30 to go leave at 5 to drive back to Antigonish. It's like a 3-hour drive or something. Right. And there was this one coworker who just every time throughout the drive, beforehand and afterward, it was just always complaining about the drive, complaining about how long it was, and mind you, we're in these big Toyota Tundras with full size cabs. Just we got tons of room. The seats are soft and comfy. We spent 24 hours in this tiny ass 4-door Honda Civic with shit for seats. It's about a 10-year-old car, and everyone in the band is over 6 feet tall and big, and we're just stuffed in there with
plus all of our gear,
the
clothes for like I don't know, almost 2 weeks.
Yeah, everyone was completely buried in gear except for whoever was driving.
Which was Nick.
Pretty much Nick the whole time. Shout out to Nick for pulling the long haul.
Yeah, he literally drove. Well, did you drive it all on the way up? Because I know you drove a bit on the way back.
I can't recall. I think Nick did most of the driving.
Oh yeah, I think so. Well, I think he drove from fucking Cleveland to all the way to fucking Salisbury.
Oh yeah.
Or no, all the way until the border, and then
we stopped at St. Stephen, which is right after Calais, Maine.
Right. Okay.
When you cross into the Canada zone.
And you took us from there to Salisbury.
Somewhere. Yeah, I only drove for like 2 hours of a 24-hour drive. So Nick drove for 22 hours.
Yeah, dude.
And he didn't even sleep when I took over. He just was very amped and
I know.
Shot the shit the whole time. So everyone's buried in gear. and clothes and shit the whole way there, and your ass is just, you can feel the bed sores happening. It's like my ass is fucking caving in on itself. It's just so sore, but there wasn't really that much complaining. Everyone was in good spirits, and honestly, like, this guy that was complaining every day we were driving to Antigonish, I was just like, you got no fucking idea how it could be. Dude.
Seriously, man, like, that was definitely, like, you know, the amount of times I've done, like, trips to Toronto or whatever to see a band or whatever, and typically we're in a van or something, you know what I mean? And it's like the same amount of dudes that we went down, but it's like we're in a van, and still it's like people are like, oh my god, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like, because of that one experience, man, it's like I never get like that now, because I always have that as a reference to be like, well, you know what? I did that, and I didn't say shit about that.
Yeah.
And that was 1,000 times worse than this is. Like, so it's just like, yeah, it's crazy. But I think it was because of the focus, man. Like, I felt like we were so focused on, like, creating a sick record that, like, nothing got us down. Because the shit, we honestly had some shit go down. Like, our car got fucking towed.
Yeah, car got towed.
We got just stranded in the middle of the ghettos of Cleveland, Ohio. A bunch of fucking Nova Scotian boys. Like, you know what I mean? We don't know shit. Well, you're a New Brunswick boy, but...
Oh, yeah.
Nova Scotia.
I'm at least partially Nova Scotia.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, we're all the same, really.
Yeah. East Coast Canada.
Yeah. But...
Well, if you're in Vancouver, most of those fuckers think that the East is, like, Quebec.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah. The Maritimes.
More East.
More East,
yeah.
East plus.
Yeah. But yeah, what you're saying about... I agree. I think we had so much sense of meaning in what we were doing, because we were musicians going to record in another country and another city.
This was, as far as that is still, you know, our probably the apex of our career as musicians was doing that trip. And, like, you know...
How could you be upset about that?
How could you be upset? That's all I want in this life, is to be able to do that. Like, to be able to go to record records with my best friends and make sick music. That's it for me, man. Like, I could fucking do that as long as I live. Like, I love it.
The feeling of your ass caving in is worth it.
It's worth it. It's all worth it.
Passionate about something.
The feeling of your car getting fucking towed and you don't know where to, and you don't know, like...
We even had the cops at the police station, like... I don't know if it was an intentional lie or if he just was talking out of his ass, but he didn't know where the fuck he
didn't know. Told us to go to the wrong spot.
Yeah, the car was not there. And it was a real bad fucking around.
And because of that, he gave us the wrong address to go to, we were late getting to the one we should have been going to.
Yeah.
So, like, if we had left and gone to the one we should have gone to right out of the get-go, we would have got there on time. We wouldn't have had to fucking leave our car in the lot a whole other day.
Maybe we should just tell that story, like...
The whole story, yeah.
Well, we were in the midst of recording. I think we just did, like, 3 or 4 days of recording, and we were in the studio anywhere from 10 to 13 hours each day.
Yep.
Then we'd get back to the hotel just so amped about the whole thing.
Yeah.
We'd be up till 3 in the morning.
Couldn't sleep ever. Yeah.
And then we'd get up early and just like, back into the studio.
Yeah.
So that was like those 4 days. And then we had this one day off just to have a fun day in Cleveland.
Enjoy the city, go around, see some sights.
Yeah, maybe take some of the load off. Like just not worry about the album for a bit.
Like,
So we had this plan to go to the zoo, to go to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, well, those were the main ones I remember.
Those were the two ones.
Probably
that
like
really
go drink or eat something.
Yeah, go get
just
some beers.
And just dig Cleveland. But so we get to the zoo. It turns out it's Free Zoo Day because they're celebrating their 100th year as a zoo.
Yeah.
And the place is just fucking packed.
Flooded with people.
Tens of thousands of people were at the zoo that day.
Yes, there was like over 60,000 people in that zoo that day.
Holy fuck!
I think I read.
It was absolutely unreal. It was just a completely packed, swamped ass crowd of people everywhere. And so you really couldn't enjoy it that much because there was so many people. And eventually we got kind of bummed because people were just chirping at the animals and teasing the animals. And
it was fucking like all the most negative stereotypes about American citizens just fully at play, man. And it was just all day being bombarded with this, like, immense ignorance towards, it fully made me sick, man, the way these people saw these majestic fucking creatures, like a goddamn silverback gorilla. That motherfucker is the king of the jungle, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can come around and be like, oh, hey, gorilla, do something fucking cool. Like,
yeah.
man.
Then this depressed animal in this tiny ass cage, sitting there on a rock with its elbows on his knees, just staring at you.
Yeah.
And this lady screaming, hey gorilla, doing that whole thing. He just reaches behind himself, brings his hand back in front with a fresh pile of shit in his hand. He just shit in his own hand, and he's looking you in the eye. This fucking, how heavy are those things? 1,000 pounds?
Fucking,
I don't know. And he just starts eating his own shit out of his hand, just looking you in the eye. You have to have that experience to understand what it's like to have a silverback gorilla stare you in the eye, eating its own shit. And we Googled it, because you were making this joke the whole time that he was super self-sufficient. It was like...
It's like, oh man, I don't need to feed him anymore. Take a shit and eat that.
So, but then we looked it up online, and it's just heartbreaking. Like that behavior is not documented in any wild gorillas. It's only gorillas in captivity. That do that.
Yep.
And that's just, well, fuck, man.
Yeah, that trip honestly was good. It made me look at the whole concept of zoos in a different way.
Yeah.
And because I'm torn, because it's like to be able to experience seeing silverback gorillas or elephants or giraffes or any kind of crazy animal, if you're not a fucking asshole, like, and you don't, that's insane. That's like an insane experience to get to see one of these animals, man. Like, so when the craziest zoo I ever went to was the Toronto Zoo.
Yeah.
And I loved it there because like the fucking zones they had them in were big. There was so many like staff on hand, like engaging with the animals, and it was not they weren't doing shows for us. They weren't doing any of that bullshit. Like,
there was times where I remember the lion enclosure was so huge you might not even see the lion.
Yeah, you might not even see him.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and that's what it should be about. Like, it's not about putting on a show for the people. It's about educating them about these animals, man. Like, you can come here and you can see this, and you can really learn something.
And some animals are in a position where they can't be reintroduced into the wild.
That's right, yeah.
So there's that purpose it could be serving.
Mm-hmm.
But I totally agree with you, because the Cleveland Zoo, to me, it seemed like just put these animals on a pedestal and just you get to go, and it's just for human entertainment. It's not about the animals at all.
Exactly. And that, to me, is just like, it's bullshit. Like, I mean, there's entertainment in learning as well. Like, I can be entertained when I'm learning stuff.
For sure.
But it's not.
It's like
that's not how you're
kind of peep show type thing.
Exactly.
Like the enclosures,
it's exploiting the like exotic nature of these animals.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that you've never seen one in your life, and you live in Cleveland, Ohio, where these kind of animals do not exist, so you can go to the zoo and they can fucking show off. You know what I mean? It's like they're like monetizing that fact. Whereas like Toronto Zoo, it's like a lot of those are rescued animals. There's a lot of animals that were injured or for whatever reason, like, need that rehabilitation. A lot of the animals just go there for rehab, and then they get released back into the wild if they can. Mm-hmm. And if they can't, they stay and they keep them and they take care of them and they love them to right up until whenever they go.
Yeah.
And like, you can feel it in the air, man. Like when we were in Cleveland, I didn't see any staff anywhere, man. No. There was not a fucking person on site. There was just a million fucking people just shouting at them people all day.
All the people that, and I think this is part of maybe the reason why we got such a bad, like how you mentioned, it was just this microscopic view of just the shittiest kind of, they were fulfilling all the bad American stereotypes.
Yeah.
Like just being arrogant and ignorant and loud and all those things. And
it brought everybody out. So I'm sure there was a lot of people there who were
typically can't afford to go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so on both sides you're going to get people who really want to use that experience to learn something. You're also going to get these people who are like, yeah, it's fucking free zoo day. Like, who gives a shit? Let's go and fucking harass some animals all day long. You know what I mean?
And it's just the kind of thing where I'm sure